You are watching this video right now because 25 million years ago, a terrified young ape made one decision that changed everything. If he had failed, you wouldn't exist. None of us would. But here's what's crazy. That moment almost didn't happen. And what happened next? It gets even more insane. Let me show you something that will blow your mind. Right now, as you're watching this, your brain is doing something that no other species on Earth can do. You're imagining the past. You're feeling empathy for creatures that died millions of years ago. You're thinking about your own existence. But why? What makes you human? Is it your brain? Your language? Your ability to use tools? Scientists believed that for years, they were completely wrong. The answer is so much stranger than anyone expected, and it all starts in a tropical forest 25 million years ago, with an ape hanging from a branch, about to invent something that would change the universe forever. 25 million years ago, the Earth looked nothing like it does today. The Mediterranean coast, modern-day Spain, was a humid jungle, vast forests stretched from Europe to China. And in that jungle lived a creature. We call him Pierolapithecus. Watch what he's about to do. Because you've been doing it your entire life without realizing it, Pierola is too heavy to walk on branches, so he hangs. But sometimes, and this is where it gets interesting, he stands on 2 feet, upright walking. Wait, you're thinking, didn't humans invent walking on 2 feet on the ground? No. That's the first lie they told you in school. Bipedalism, walking upright, wasn't invented by humans. It was invented by apes in trees. Mind blown yet? We're just getting started. This young male Pierola has a problem. He's been kicked out of his family, exiled, alone. In the ancient world, that's a death sentence. He's found a new group, but they don't trust strangers. The alpha male could kill him with 1 blow. The females are suspicious. He's an outsider. What happens next will determine not just his fate, but yours. Because in this moment, right here, something is about to happen that has never happened before in the history of planet Earth. The alpha male is staring at him, sizing him up. The young Pierola is terrified. His heart is racing. And then, the old female sees something. She sees his fear, and she feels it too. This is empathy. The ability to understand what another creature is feeling, to be affected by their emotions. Before this moment, empathy didn't exist in the animal kingdom. It's about to change everything. War, love, politics, society. All of it starts right here. But empathy alone won't save him. He needs something else. An invention that you use every single night without thinking about it. Want to know what it is? Keep watching. Because what happens next will explain why you need 8 hours of sleep, why you dream, and why without this one invention you would never have been born. The old female is making a choice that will echo through 25 million years of evolution. She feels his pain. She wants to help. But there's a problem. The alpha male doesn't like this. He doesn't like empathy. He likes power. And this young male is a threat. The alpha could attack right now. The tension is unbearable. The young male holds his breath. And then the old female does something unexpected. She approaches him, slowly, carefully. It's a gesture, a message. I see you. I feel what you feel. The alpha male watches. He's calculating. 1 wrong move, and this ends in blood. But the females outnumber him. He backs down, for now. Here's what's incredible. That old female's decision to feel empathy, that moment right there, that's the beginning of human society. Without empathy, we would still be solitary creatures, fighting over scraps. We wouldn't have cities, art, music, love, none of it. You want to know what saved humanity? It wasn't strength. It was the ability to care about someone else's suffering. The young male is still in danger, though. Empathy got him noticed, but it won't get him accepted. For that, he needs to survive the night. And that's where the second invention comes in. Night falls. The jungle comes alive with sounds, predators, big cats, serpents. Most mammals can't sleep for more than a few minutes at a time. They're too vulnerable. But Pierolas, they're about to revolutionize sleep itself. Watch this. The old female is building something in the trees. A nest, made of leaves and branches. It's a bed, a safe platform high above the predators. Inside this nest, Pierolas can sleep for 8, 9, 10 hours straight. You're thinking, okay, cool, they made beds. But you're missing the point. Long, uninterrupted sleep does something magical to the brain. During deep sleep, your brain sorts through everything you experienced that day. The important stuff, it saves it. The garbage, deleted. This is why you can't remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago, but you remember your first kiss. Sleep sorted it for you. Without this invention, without long restorative sleep, our brains would never have developed. We would never have become intelligent. Every night when you sleep, you're using technology invented 25 million years ago by apes in trees. The young male didn't learn how to build a nest from his mother, so tonight he's vulnerable. He tries to make one, but it's weak, poorly constructed. Will it hold through the night? We'll find out. But first, I need to tell you about something that happens the next morning that changes everything. The young male is about to make a discovery that will lead to language, culture, and eventually you watching this video. The group comes down from the trees. They're hungry. Fruit everywhere. But not all fruit is safe. Some of it is deadly poison. How do they know which is which? That's the question. And the answer? It's genius. Here's something that will change how you see your own life. Every single thing you know, how to tie your shoes, how to read, what foods are safe to eat, you learned from someone else. You didn't figure it out on your own. Someone taught you. But where did that start? When did teaching begin? Right here, right now. Watch this. The young male approaches the old female. He's holding something. Figs, fresh, ripe, delicious figs. He's offering them to her. It's a gift she accepts. This is huge. Gifts create bonds, obligations, relationships. Without gifts, there's no trade, no economy, no civilization, but it gets better. The mother Pierola is teaching her infant which fruits to pick. She shows him the ripe ones, the safe ones. She demonstrates. He watches. He learns. This knowledge will be passed to his children, and their children, and their children. This is culture, the transmission of knowledge across generations. You think culture is a human invention. Wrong. It started here, with apes teaching their kids which fruits won't kill them. The young male and the old female are grooming each other now. It's not just hygiene. It's communication. It's bonding. It's saying, I trust you. I care about you. Before language, grooming was conversation. And look, the females are defending the young male from the alpha. Their numbers make them strong. Among Pierolas, females have the power. The young male has taken an important step, but he's not fully accepted yet. He needs to prove his value, and that's when he shows them something they've never seen before. A stick. He's using a stick to fish termites out of a mound. Big deal, you're thinking. It's just a stick. No. This is the first tool, an extension of the hand, an object used to perform a task the hand alone cannot do. This is the moment. This is when technology begins. The golden-eyed female is watching. She's fascinated. She's never seen this technique before. The young male learned it from his original group, and now he's teaching it to this one. Do you see what's happening? Knowledge is spreading. Technology is traveling between groups. Innovation is accelerating. But then something terrible happens. The infant, remember the infant? He forgot his mother's teaching. He ate the wrong fruit. He's been poisoned. His little body is convulsing. He's dying. The mother is frantic. What can she do? There's no hospital, no medicine, no... Wait. The young male recognizes this poison. He knows something the group doesn't. He searches the forest floor. Looking. Searching. There. A plant. He picks it. Chews it. Feeds it to the infant. Seconds pass. Minutes. The infant's breathing steadies his eyes open. He's alive. The young male just saved his life using medicinal plants. Pierolas were herbalists. They understood the healing power of nature. Different groups knew different remedies. And when young males left their groups and joined new ones, they brought that knowledge with them. This is how information spreads. This is how humanity learned to heal itself. But the earth is about to change. Dramatically. And everything these apes know is about to be tested. The ground is shaking. Can you feel it? The young male can. The old female can. Something's wrong. The earth itself is moving. Africa is colliding with Europe right now. Tectonic plates grinding together. The Strait of Gibraltar is closing. The Mediterranean Sea is being cut off from the Atlantic Ocean. And when that happens, something unthinkable occurs. The Mediterranean dries out completely. The entire sea evaporates, leaving a massive, dead basin. A desert where there was once water. The humid forests of Europe? Gone. The lush jungles of Spain? Disappearing. The climate is changing. Fast. The Pierolas have a choice: stay and die or leave and risk the unknown. What would you do? They leave. They migrate across the dried Mediterranean into Africa, into the green plains of the Sahara. Yes, the Sahara used to be green, covered in forests and lakes. Hard to believe now, right? And in Africa, they evolve. They adapt. They become something new. We call them Toumai, Sahelanthropus. They lived 7 million years ago on the shores of Lake Chad. And they are probably our common ancestor with chimpanzees. Let me say that again. You and a chimpanzee share a great-great-great-grandmother. Her name was Toumai. She lived in Africa. And she was about to become the most dangerous creature on the planet. The descendant of our young male is now a Toumai. She still has those golden eyes, passed down through DNA across millions of years. Isn't that beautiful? Traits persisting through deep time. But Toumai society has changed dramatically. Remember how Pierola females had the power? Not anymore. Now males dominate. There's a hierarchy, an alpha male, and he rules through violence. Watch this. A young male makes a mistake. The alpha attacks him. Brutal, vicious, unnecessary. This is dominance through fear. Welcome to patriarchy. This is where it starts. Male violence as a tool of control. But the alpha doesn't just use strength. He's smarter than that. He builds alliances. He praises potential rivals. He sweet-talks the elder female because her support matters. This is politics strategy. Betrayal, conquest, power. The males spend all day plotting. The females, they're busy finding food and raising children. Sound familiar? This social structure, male dominance, female resourcefulness, it's been with us for 7 million years. We're still trying to evolve past it. But Toumai invented something else, something beautiful, something that will make you believe in love again. A young male and female slip away from the group. Just the two of them. They spend time together, not for mating, just for being together. They groom each other. They look into each other's eyes. They feel something. Connection. Preference. Choice. Before this, mating was quick. Sniff, mount, Done. 1 minute. But now? Now they can spend hours together, touching, talking in their wordless language, feeling their hearts race. This is the invention of romantic love, the beginning of couples, of choosing who you want to be with, of seduction, of heartbreak, of everything that makes us human. But then tragedy strikes. An infant wanders too close to the water, and what happens next will introduce Toumai to the one thing that separates us from every other animal on Earth, the concept of death. The infant is floating face down in the water, lifeless. The mother pulls him out. His tiny body is limp, cold. He's gone. Now watch what happens. The young female, the mother, she should leave the body, move on. Survival demands it, but she doesn't. She holds him. She won't let go. She stares at his face, touches his hand, waiting for him to wake up. Why? What is she feeling? This is grief. The understanding that someone who was alive is now not, that they're gone, forever. And she knows, somehow she knows, that one day she will be gone too. Toumai understand death. They know their own lives will end, and that knowledge changes everything. Fear, urgency, the need to make life matter. It all starts here. But before we see what they do with that knowledge, I need to show you something disturbing, something dark, something that proves humans aren't special. We're just evolved apes, and apes can be monsters. The 3 males of the group are excited. They've spotted something across the hill, another group of Toumai, under a fig tree, and there are 2 females, young, beautiful. They've been eating fermented fruit. They're drunk, vulnerable. The alpha male wants those females, but they belong to other males. A massive, powerful male. What can he do? Inside the alpha's brain, an idea is forming. A thought that has never existed before in the history of life on Earth. A plan. He's going to kill them. Not for food, not for defense, but to take what they have, their territory, their females, their fruit. This is premeditated murder, organized violence, war. Watch what happens. The 3 males coordinate the attack together. Brutal, efficient, deadly. They kill the rival males. They take the females. They claim the territory. Toumai just invented war, and war works. It has advantages. Violence gets you resources, power, control. For the next 7 million years, war will be part of human history. It still is. Because it started right here, with apes planning murder. But back to the young female and her dead infant. She's still holding him. The group gathers around her. They're silent. They're together, united in space and time. They understand what she's feeling because they'll feel it too someday. This is the first funeral, the first ritual, the beginning of ceremony, of spirituality, of asking the big questions. What is life? What is death? What happens after? For years, scientists believed that awareness of death made us human, that it was our unique quality. They were wrong. Chimpanzees understand death. Elephants mourn their dead. Even crows hold funerals. But Toumai were the first of our ancestors to grapple with it, to gather, to grieve together, to try to make sense of the unbearable. The earth is changing again. Africa is drying out. The Sahara is turning to desert. The forests are receding. Toumai populations are scattering, splitting, evolving in different directions. Some will become chimpanzees and gorillas. They'll abandon walking upright and return to 4 legs. Others will continue down the path toward humanity. They'll spread across Africa. They'll adapt, survive, change. And 2 million years ago in South Africa, a new character appears. His name is Sediba. And he's about to face a choice that will determine whether humans exist at all. Stay near the trees and starve, or risk everything for a better life. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Imagine you're starving. Actually, you don't have to imagine. Have you ever been really, truly hungry? Not, I skipped breakfast, hungry. I mean days without food hungry, your body eating itself hungry. That's where Sediba is right now, and it's about to force him into a decision that creates you. South Africa, 2 million years ago, drought. The worst drought in thousands of years. There's no fruit on the trees. The only food is underground. Roots, bulbs. Tough, fibrous, disgusting roots that take hours to chew and barely give any nutrition. This young male, Sediba, is part of a group, but he has no female, because the females now live in harems. Only the strongest males get females. The alpha has them all. And when there's a carcass left by predators, the alpha and his females eat first. Everyone else gets scraps. There's an old female in the group. She can't chew anymore. Her teeth are worn down. She's dying, slowly, starving. The alpha won't share with her. She's useless to him. But the young male does something incredible. He pre-chews her food for her. He takes tough roots, chews them until they're soft, and gives them to her. He's keeping her alive with empathy, the same trait that saved that young Pierola 23 million years ago. But empathy won't save the species. They're going extinct. The drought is too severe. The food is too scarce. They need an alternative. And then, in the brain of one Sediba, a revolutionary idea forms. Look, over there, on the savannah, a carcass, fresh, full of meat, abandoned by lions. If the meat won't come to us, she thinks, we'll go to it. The alpha's female wants to take the risk. The young male is ready too. They're going to walk away from the trees, their only protection, and venture onto the open savannah, where predators roam where death waits. The alpha male is furious. This is suicide. Madness. But they go anyway. Neither of them has ever been this far from the trees. Every instinct is screaming at them to turn back. But the desire to eat, the desperate, clawing hunger, is stronger than fear. They reach the carcass. It's real. It's massive. More meat than they've ever seen. They choose the fattiest parts, the marrow, the brain, the tongue, the eyes. Fat is rare. Fat is energy. Fat is survival. They load up and head back. Arms full of meat. Triumphant. They made it. The group is astonished. Food. Real food. For everyone. They're saved. But the alpha male is humiliated. His female just defied him. She risked her life and succeeded. His power is threatened. And when an alpha feels threatened, violence follows. He attacks her. Brutal. Public. He humiliates her in front of everyone. Punishes her. Isolates her. The message is clear. Obey or suffer. But the old female, the one the young male has been feeding, she has nothing to lose. She's dying anyway. She defends the young female, stands up to the alpha. The meat they brought back has immediate effects. It's easier to digest than roots. The body feels lighter, energized, but the real effect will take hundreds of thousands of years. Less energy for digestion means more energy for the brain. Our brains will grow. Our bodies will become taller, slimmer, smarter. But first, Sediba needs to solve a problem. How do you get meat when you're not a predator? The young male has an idea, and this idea, this one thought, will change everything. Have you ever had an idea? I don't mean a passing thought. I mean a real idea, a vision of something that doesn't exist yet, something you could build, create, make real. That feeling, that spark of imagination, that's what's happening in the young male's brain right now. And it's about to create technology. He's looking at a rock, not just any rock, a specific type of rock, hard, sharp when broken. He picks it up, examines it, and then he does something no Sediba has ever done before. He smashes it, deliberately, with precision. And when it breaks, shards fly off, razor-sharp shards. He picks one up, tests the edge with his finger sharp enough to cut flesh. This is tool making, not just using a stick to grab termites. This is shaping raw materials into specific forms for specific purposes. This is engineering. If he can cut carcasses into smaller pieces, they can carry meat back to safety. They can have provisions for days, but they need different tools for different tasks. Cutting, slicing, breaking bones. He makes them all. It will take thousands of years to master this technique, but the idea, the vision, that happens right now in his mind. And here's what's incredible. He can communicate that vision. He can use the language Toumai started developing to explain his plan. He can say, "Imagine this. We find carcasses. We cut them up. We bring the meat back. We feast." His words create images in their minds. They can see it, anticipate it, plan for it. This is imagination. The ability to conceive of something that doesn't exist yet and work together to make it real. The alpha male understands something terrible. His dominance is threatened, not by strength. The young male is weaker, but by ideas, by vision, by imagination. So the alpha does what threatened leaders always do. He steals the idea. He takes credit. He makes it his plan, and he leads them into dangerous territory. They're walking away from the trees, into the open savanna, where they're prey, where lions and hyenas hunt. This band of scavengers, weak, vulnerable, tool-carrying apes. They're marching toward an uncertain future. Who would think they would soon dominate the planet? They find a carcass, perfect timing. The lions have left. The hyenas haven't arrived yet. They begin cutting, carrying. But then, disaster. Their tree, their safe tree. It's too far away. They're exposed, and predators are approaching. They have a choice: run back to the tree and risk starvation, or continue into the unknown, risking death but having a chance to eat? What would you do? The young female doesn't know everything in her biology is screaming to seek shelter, to run, to hide. But there's another voice, quieter, deeper, the voice of imagination. Is there another life beyond the tree? She wonders. A better life? The group splits. Some follow the young female into the unknown. Others retreat to the safety of the tree. And here's what's fascinating. It's the weaker ones who make the right choice. The strong never want to give up their privileges. The weak? They have nothing to lose, so they risk everything for a better future. They dream of open spaces, prey in abundance, food for everyone, a world beyond the tree. And that dream, that willingness to leave safety for possibility, that's what creates humanity. If our ancestors hadn't had that courage, you wouldn't be here. Those who stayed by the tree, they survived for a while. We call them paranthropus, almost humans, but they couldn't adapt when the climate changed again. They went extinct 1 million years ago. Lucy, the famous Australopithecus everyone learns about in school. She was one of them, an evolutionary dead end. Not your grandmother, a distant cousin who didn't make it, but those who left, who risked everything. They became something new, something mobile, something unstoppable, Homo erectus, and they're about to change the world. 2 million years ago, something happens that transforms Earth's climate. The two Americas collide. This creates the Gulf Stream, a current of warm water that flows from Mexico to the Arctic, then plunges deep, taking heat with it. The polar ice caps form. The Ice Age begins. The Sahara dries out completely. Herds of animals leave Africa searching for food, and Homo erectus follows them. Some migrate to Europe, others to Asia. They cross mountains, deserts, forests, swamps, unthinkable distances. What drives them? The same thing that drove those Sediba away from the tree imagination. The belief that somewhere out there is a better life. Homo erectus is built for this. Long legs, vertical body, and an incredible cooling system. Short hair, sweat glands, a brain that regulates temperature. This gives them more stamina than any creature on Earth. They're not scavengers anymore, they're hunters, persistence hunters. Like wolves, they track prey for hours, days. They're slower than antelope, but they can run longer, much longer. When the prey collapses from exhaustion, they attack. And here's something remarkable. In this group, a female is in charge. Not the strongest male, the cleverest female. Her ability to anticipate, to strategize, to lead. That's what makes her chief. The size difference between males and females is shrinking. Power is no longer just about strength, it's about intelligence. And females, they're proving to be brilliant. They're building shelters now, not just sleeping in trees, actual constructed homes, fences, camps. They're transforming the environment instead of just adapting to it. Society is becoming complex. Some people specialize in tool making, others in cutting meat, others in tanning hides or building shelters. Work jobs, division of labor, all of it starts here. The female chief controls food distribution. She serves the best cuts first to those she needs, gives extra to potential allies, nurtures relationships. This is sophisticated politics. But there's an enemy stalking them, not a predator. Something worse. Something that appears in dry seasons without warning. Something that destroys everything. Fire. A wildfire sweeps across the savannah massive, unstoppable. The camp is burning. Everything they built, gone. The herds flee. They're left with nothing. But then, what's that smell? That mouth-watering aroma? An animal was caught in the fire. Its flesh is cooked, and it tastes incredible. This is how Homo erectus discovers cooking. By accident, by catastrophe, by paying attention. Cooked meat is easy to chew, easy to digest. It requires 16 times less energy to process, which means more energy for the brain. Cooked food will allow us to reduce our jaw muscles and develop bigger brains. We'll think clearer, walk lighter, become smarter. But there's a problem. They don't know how to make fire. They only know how to find it after it happens naturally. And then, across the valley, another group. And they have fire-controlled fire, captured fire, technology. In this new world, nothing is more important. They could fight for it, kill for it. Or they could do something humanity has never tried before: trade. Think about your phone. You didn't make it. You have no idea how it works. You traded money, which is just agreed upon value, for technology someone else created. Trade, exchange, commerce. It seems simple now, but it had to be invented, and it happens right here. The young chief has an idea. His group knows how to control fire. The other group has better skills in working hides, making clothes, accessories. What if they traded? Knowledge for knowledge, technology for technology. This is revolutionary. Before this, groups hoarded their secrets, guarded their innovations. But if knowledge can travel between groups, if skills can spread, then progress accelerates exponentially. They meet, cautious, curious. They demonstrate their fire-making technique. The other group shows their leatherworking skills. They exchange, learn. Both groups benefit. A new era for humanity begins. Thanks to trade and language, knowledge accumulates faster. Skills spread across vast distances, innovation explodes. No wonder fire use appeared so suddenly across the entire world. It wasn't discovered everywhere independently. It was taught, traded, transmitted. But something else is happening. The young chief is looking at a woman from the other group. Her face, her eyes, her smile. Something stirs in him, not just lust, something deeper, attraction, aesthetic appreciation. Desire not just to mate, but to be with her, to know her, to choose her. At this point in our history, real couples begin to form, not just quick mating, but selection, courtship, intimacy. Bodies are decorated with colors, patterns, styles. Arousal becomes art. Sexuality brings them together. But something else is happening too. Bonds that build, grow, last. This is love. Not the biological urge to reproduce, but the emotional connection between two people who choose each other, who want to be together, who feel something when they look into each other's eyes. The story of love is still being told. Every time you fall for someone, every time your heart races when you see them, every time you feel that inexplicable pull. You're experiencing something invented 2 million years ago by Homo erectus around a fire. Fire changes everything. It provides warmth, protection from insects and predators. It cures ailments, eliminates darkness, hardens spear points, cooks food. But the greatest advance is in speech. Thanks to brain development, specifically the left hemisphere, and a small evolution in the larynx, speech becomes articulate, complex, capable of evoking the past, describing the future, telling stories, and stories. Oh, stories change everything. The old woman is a storyteller. She sits by the fire, the group gathers around her, and she tells them who they are, where they came from, what their ancestors did. She gives meaning to their lives. Perhaps this is what makes us human, she thinks. Not tools, not fire, but the ability to tell our story. Homo erectus spreads across the earth, adapts to every climate, and different populations begin to diverge genetically. In China, they become Beijing man, giants. In Indonesia, solo man on Flores Island, tiny humans barely a meter tall. In Central Asia, Denisovans. In Europe, Neanderthals, massive, strong, built for Ice Age cold, and in Africa, they become Homo sapiens, us. Around 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens does something unprecedented. They don't just survive, they dominate. They create complex societies, art, magic, beliefs, medicine, science. How? Why them? The answer will surprise you. You're here because of a series of impossible choices made by creatures who had every reason to give up but didn't. The young Pierola who left his family and risked rejection, the Sediba who walked away from the tree, the Homo erectus who traded instead of fought. Each of them chose courage over comfort, possibility over safety. And now, 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens stands at a crossroads. There are at least 6 species of humans on Earth. Neanderthals in Europe, Denisovans in Asia, Homo erectus in the Far East. Each adapted to their environment, each with their own culture. But Homo sapiens has something the others don't. Not bigger brains. Neanderthals actually had larger brains, not stronger bodies. Homo erectus was more robust. What then? Imagination. Extreme, unbounded, limitless imagination. The ability to dream of things that don't exist and make them real. To believe in abstractions, gods, nations, money, laws, stories. Homo sapiens invents art, not just decoration, but symbolic representation. painting animals on cave walls, not because they're pretty, but because they mean something. Music, ritual, magic. We develop complex language capable of communicating abstract concepts. We can say yesterday and tomorrow. We can discuss things that might happen. We can plan, coordinate, innovate, and we do something crucial. We accumulate knowledge faster than any other species. The Pierola taught us empathy. The Toumai taught us love and death. The Sediba taught us courage. Homo erectus taught us fire and trade. We inherited all of it. Millions of years of innovation passed down through culture, language, and DNA. 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens leaves Africa, just like his ancestors, driven by the same spirit of exploration, the same refusal to accept limits. We cross seas, master navigation, traverse ice sheets, reach Australia, cross the Bering Strait to America. Within 60,000 years, we inhabit the entire planet. We occasionally mix with other human species, Neanderthals, Denisovans. Their DNA is in us. But wherever we go, the other species disappear, outcompeted, out-innovated, replaced. Not through violence necessarily, but through superiority of culture, of technology, of imagination. Our appearance changes with climate. Skin lightens in northern latitudes to absorb weak sunlight, darkens near the equator for protection, eye shapes adapt, hair textures vary. We become incredibly diverse in appearance, different peoples, different cultures, different languages. But deep down, the genes are the same, the capacity for empathy, inherited from Pierola, the awareness of death from Toumai, the courage to risk everything from Sediba, the ability to control fire and tell stories from Homo erectus. We are all one family, one species, Homo sapiens, the only human left on Earth. But our presence, it shines with a million fires. Every city, every invention, every story, every act of love and courage. You exist because 25 million years ago, a young ape chose empathy over isolation. Because 2 million years ago, a weak female chose possibility over safety. Because 100,000 years ago, our species chose imagination over acceptance. That same choice is still yours to make, every single day. What will you choose?